Life in Italy was beautiful because I was surrounded with as much love that I needed, even though I had no parents nearby.
In the popular imagination, there's a tendency to see immigration, particularly European immigration from the late 19th and early 20th centuries, as monolithic, as really sort of the same throughout, right? Certainly, I think we understand that different ethnic groups came at different times and under different circumstances. But one of the things I think that shaped the experiences of different immigrant groups, whether those were Irish immigrants in the middle of the 19th century or Italian immigrants in the early 20th century, are the ways in which sort of gender, right, shaped those kinds of experiences, right? I think folks are often surprised to learn that a large number of single Irish-born women came in the middle of the 19th century, and that's one of the things that kind of is unique in some way to that particular immigrant group. For Italians, one of the things I think that's interesting is the degree to which, in many cases, men came first and brought their wives and brought the rest of their families with them. But I think it's essential, right, to sort of understand the role that family plays and the family dynamic plays in any of these stories.
My mother must have gotten to America in 1917, just before the war, because we were supposed to come back. They were sending for us, by which we wouldn't have made the trip because of our condition. I would have never had clearance, you understand? But that was when the war broke out, that was the end of the transportation. So my father came to get us in 1921. That's what happened. It was important for him to have his family together. He wanted to have his family together. And that was the whole thing.
I've worked for many years with school groups to have them learn about what immigration was like in the early 20th century. What we do is we have students read oral histories that people gave about what it was like to come over here from countries like Italy, and then we teach the kids drama skills, and we have them dramatize the experience, dramatize the oral histories, and then have them think about what were the elements of a successful immigration experience. And as a result of doing this program, I guess I know some generalities about what it was like to immigrate to the United States in the early 20th century. And it's interesting for the students to make comparisons between what it was like to immigrate in the 20th century and their experience right now with immigration, because many of our students in the New York City area still have some family member who immigrated to the United States.
I love my country for real. Like every time I go back, I love the way we live, the way we like to enjoy life, or just the landscape that we have. Like you can take the car and 3 hours being on a different landscape, like all the time. Depends on you're going west, you're going east, or you're going north or south. So it's so different. I love the country itself. The people, I don't know. I don't know why, but I just felt that I couldn't work there. I don't feel I can work there because there's like no, for the industry, like the movie industry, I don't think we really have an industry right now. And this is really sad. I mean, I didn't feel like I had possibility to emerge, to do something, like also something that was mattered to me, you know? That's why like I decided I want to make it bigger and I just want to dream and live it fully. So I came here in New York where the heart is pumping and, you know, like where everything is real. And I have to tell that at the beginning I was really lost because I didn't know. I said to myself, okay, now you're here, you make it in New York.
So after we have the kids dramatize an oral history, a really interesting discussion emerges at the end of the program. And the students begin to think about what are the elements of a successful immigration experience. And as we talk about what was successful or not successful for these immigrants who came 100 years ago at the early 20th century, kids start saying, oh, you know, my aunt just immigrated to the United States, and this was her experience, because a lot of these students have relatives or their own parents who came here to the United States. So we begin to make interesting comparisons between immigration now and immigration 100 years ago. And so one of the things you notice, for example, is that 100 years ago, millions of Italians were coming to the United States, And nowadays, students will notice, oh, well, you know, just one person in my family came. So we have just like a few individuals coming instead of thousands of people all coming at the same time.
To live in the family is not easy, and not it is at all. I miss like my mom, my little sister, my little brother, like my dad, like hell, of course. And every time, like, this is the thing that I think, oh my God, when I'm like down and when I tell to myself what I'm doing here, like I'm so far away, I'm fighting against something that I have no control about. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it, if I'm gonna be in a project. I don't know anything about it. Like, I'm going somewhere because I feel like I feel a passion, I feel this dream that is so huge and I have to do it, so that's why I'm here, I'm doing it. But of course it's tough because, you know, when I do Skype with my mom, like, I'm ashamed to say that, but I do Skype with her like 3 times a day, I think. Like, she's calling me every 2 hours, she's there. And I remember I was in Los Angeles with other 2 friends of mine. They're a little older than me, and they weren't calling, they weren't like be so in touch with their parents as me, and they were saying to me, oh my God, you have to grow up, you cannot do that, like call that all this time, so many times, is not good for you.
The main goal that Italians had when they were coming to the United States 100 years ago was to bring their family over, and nowadays it's to one person will come over just because they have a really good job opportunity.
My mom, she's my strength. My family is my strength. If I'm here and I'm independent, I got a lease on me for a house, I got the visa, so I have responsibility and I'm doing all this stuff and I'm 23 years old, it's because of my family. It's because of their support, their strength, like their love is so huge that I feel free to do it. So that's what I think.
One of the other things that you notice is that this immigrants who first came to the United States 100 years ago had very little education. And when you look at family members coming nowadays, they'll be highly educated, again, to find that really good work situation, but that's usually because they have a master's or a doctorate in some profession, and they find a job opportunity as a result of that in the United States.
I'm free. That's the thing that I love of my life, what I choose. I am free. I am completely free. I just have my passion, my dream, and I have it in my hand, and I'm going around to show if someone is interested and I have something to do with it. I follow this. I don't have anything that's held me back.
There's no other part in the world that any of us could brag about it's as good as America. We have our faults, we all do, but America is only one.